afternoon class, gather around. We are going to go over how to do a skin analysis today. So gather around and we'll get started. Upon completion of this lesson, you should be able to know how to properly use the equipment that we have that you use during the skin analysis. You should be able to identify the correct skin type that your client has and also any skin conditions that your client may have. You also should be able to choose the correct products for your treatment and your client's at-home care from this skin analysis. The reason that you need to know how to do a proper skin analysis is that you want to make sure that you are choosing the correct the correct products for your client. You don't want to be using acneic products on a client, that has dry skin. You want to make sure that you are properly typing their skin and their skin conditions so that you can proceed with the correct products and treatments for your client. The supplies that we're going to be using today and the equipment that is involved is obviously your facial bed. You'll be having towels. You want to make sure that you have a secure head wrap for your client, either a band or both, a towel and a headband. You want to make sure that your client is properly draped. We are going to be using our mag lamp today, which is right here. Remember we talked about that yesterday. And also the Woods lamp, which we talked about yesterday also. And those are attached to your 15-in-1 machine, and we'll be using that. We will be using toner. You want to make sure that you have a first aid kit in your station. Cotton rounds, 4x4s, hand sanitizer, gloves. You want to make sure that your hair is pulled back so that when you lean over your client to do the skin analysis, that your hair is not flopping in their face, which your hair should be pulled back anyway. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to sanitize my hands. Now, I prefer to use gloves, so I'm going to put my gloves on. At this point, you should have already done your pre-cleanse and you do the skin analysis prior to your second cleanse. You want to make sure that you are doing the pre-cleanse, removing all the client's makeup so that you are assessing the client's skin and not makeup. You want to make sure you get all that stuff off before you do your skin analysis. Okay? We are going to get some cotton rounds. And I'm going to spray my toner on the cotton rounds. Now, Mary, should I do it like this? Correct. You don't want to spray it over the client's face. You want to make sure you do it over the trash can, away from the client's face. You do not want the cotton rounds to be saturated. You want to make sure that they're just damp. You can dampen them with water. You want to make sure if you do that, you do wring them out and that they are not dripping. I'm going to touch the client. Let her know that I'm getting ready to touch her face. I'm going to apply the cotton rounds to her eyes. You want to make sure that you press down ever so gently, just so they conform to the eyes so that they stay on and they won't slip off. We are going to turn our mag lamp on away from the client. We're going to make sure that it's pointed away from the client, and then we're going to bring it onto the client. The different things that we're going to be looking for today is skin type and skin conditions. We've gone over some skin conditions. We've gone over rosacea. We've gone over cuperose, dehydrated, and acneic skin. We discussed those in our theory class, so we are going to check for those today. We are also going to be checking if they have dry skin, normal skin, combination skin, mature and aging skin, or oily skin. So I'm going to be sure that I am looking at the client. I'm touching the client, checking what kind of texture does the client have. I'm moving all around the face, looking at all sides of the client, looking for flakes, looking for open and closed comedones, which we've talked about in previous lessons, looking for anything that I see that will help me to determine whether this client has any of those skin types. Let's just go over really quick what the different things are for the skin types again. We talked about them yesterday in theory. So the normal skin type has sufficient moisture. Dry skin type lacks sebum production. Oily skin has excess sebum production. And combination skin has both oily and dry, or two different skin types in what, Mary? Yes, the T-zone, correct. The T-zone is from forehead to chin, ear to ear, and it forms a T, and then the other four quadrants can be something different. Or mature and aging skin, which is loose, thin, or crepe-like. So based upon that information, I have determined by looking at my client that she has dry skin. My client has a typical dry skin. She is lacking in sebum production. Then I'm going to go to the conditions. I am checking for dehydration. I'm checking for cuperose, rosacea, or if she has any acne problems anywhere. So upon looking for dehydration, I'm looking to see if there's any lack of moisture. Now, I do know that my client has dry skin at this point. Dry skin and dehydrated skin are two different things. Dry skin is lacking sebum. Dehydrated skin is lacking moisture. So not only does my client have dry skin, but she also, I can see, has dehydrated skin. I'm looking for cuperose, which is fine dilated capillaries underneath the skin. My client does not have any of that. I'm also looking for rosacea, which is redness in the cheek area, around the nose, on the forehead, anywhere. She does not have any of that today. And I do know that she does not have acneic skin because I've determined that she has dry skin and I don't see any acne on her face. So then I'm going to do this in a methodical way. I do this the same way with every client. That way I'm sure not to miss anything. I'm going to start at the chin. I'm looking for anything like clogged pores, open and closed comedones, anything like that. And now I'm going to move up to her eyes. Now when I look at the client's eyes, I'm going to turn my mag lamp away so that the light is not shining directly in the client's eyes. I'm going to gently lift up the cotton round, and I'm looking for redness or puffiness around the eye area. I'm going to drop that back down. I'm going to hold it so it doesn't fall on the corner, and I'm also going to look at the other eye, any redness or puffiness. Okay, at this time for this client, I don't see any of that today. And on her cheeks, I'm checking for age spots. I'm checking to see if there's any hyper or hypopigmentation while I'm looking at that. And we learned what that was last week. So we know what those are. I'm going to check her forehead. I'm checking for, also when I'm looking for freckles or moles, my client happens to have two freckles, one here and one here. So I'm going to note the color, size, and shape of those freckles. I'm going to make sure that I document that because when I do another treatment on her in 1 month, I'm going to check those. I'm going to compare my findings. I'm going to see if they've changed in color, shape, or form. Then I'm going to go to the nose. I'm looking to see if there's any in the nape of the nose. Is there any clogged pores? Is there any puffiness? Is there anything going on around her nose area? Then I'm going to look at her mouth. So I'm checking to see if there's any hyper or hypopigmentation around the mouth at all. I'm checking for elasticity while I'm doing that. I'm going to do where we learned yesterday how to do the thumb underneath the skin. Is it giving? Is it firm? Is it loose? How does it feel? How does the texture feel? I'm going to look at the entire face as a whole, just to see. Do I see anything else that I need to document? So at this time, I have determined that my client has dry skin. that she is dehydrated, that she has 2 freckles here that I'm going to document and keep an eye on, and I'm going to move on to the next step, which is actually I'm going to take the lamp away, the mag lamp, from my client. I'm not going to turn it off while it's in her face. I'm going to turn it away from her, move it, turn the light off. The next thing that we're going to do is actually look with the woods lamp. Now, we did learn about this yesterday, and we learned that different colors mean different things. So we're going to look and see if one of those colors pops up. So we are going to put this over the client's face ever so gently. Be sure to hold on tight, not to drop it on the client. You want to make sure that the lights are down low so that you can see. This helps, but it also helps to have the lights low. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to check my client, looking all around. I'm going to look at them freckles, Merkles underneath the lamp. I'm going to check all the areas that I checked on the side of the face. I'm going to check her forehead all the way around. You can also do the décolleté at that time. You can hold it and check it. Okay? I'm going to turn it off. And I'm going to sit it over here. I'm going to make sure it's secure, that it doesn't fall on the floor. Judy, if it falls on the floor, what should I do? Correct. Stop the service. Pick it up. Sanitize it or disinfect it. Put it back on the station if need be. If not, you can put it in your to-be disinfected container that you have. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to sanitize my hands, and I'm going to reapply my gloves if I'm wearing gloves. Then I'm going to go back and address my client and continue on with the service. But you do need to stop right away, pick it up, and then address the situation, do the proper steps for universal precautions, and carry on with the service after that. So now that I've determined that my client is dehydrated and also has dry skin, what color do you think that I saw underneath the woods lamp? Mary? Good, violet, very good. You need to make sure that you are aware of the different colors that show up on the woods lamp. It will help further help you in determining your skin type and also your skin conditions. Okay, at this time, then we are going to go over the safety procedures for this particular lesson. So during a facial and a skin analysis, you want to make sure that your client is securely on the table and draped properly. You want to make sure that you followed all universal precautions for disinfecting and any safety issues that may arise during your service. You want to make sure that you've disinfected everything prior to starting. The other thing that I want to show you is that when you remove the 4x4s or the cotton rounds from your client, you want to make sure that you lift them up and do it in a downward and an outward motion. You don't want to come upward. You can get cotton on the client's eyelashes. You can get product in the client's eyes because maybe their lids kind of stuck a little bit, and then when you pulled it off, it opened up, and then if you're pulling this way, you're actually putting product in the client's eyes. The other thing is you want to make sure that they are not soaking wet. They are just damp to place on the client's eyes. You're going to remove them in a downward and an outward motion. Downward and outward, not upward. Be sure that you're doing that. Brace your hands when you're doing that. You can just brace your fingers here, take them down and out, and then throw them away. Okay? So we've done all that. We are going to now summarize what procedures we took. So our client was already on the bed. We've already done we've draped our client. We've pulled her hair back. We've already done our first pre-cleanse on the client. Removed all that makeup, all that dirt, anything that's on there so that we can actually assess the face. We have put our gloves on if need be. We've checked for skin type and skin conditions based on the knowledge that we have. We have determined with the Woods lamp and with the Mad lamp the different skin types and conditions. We were able to see with those and confirmed when we used the Woods lamp that yes, she was dehydrated because we saw violet color in the Woods lamp on her face. We removed the cotton rounds in a downward and outward motion, threw them away. We went over any universal precautions. If we drop something, what we do, what did we say we did, Mary? Yes, correctly. We stop the service, pick it up, address the problem, wash our hands, sanitize our hands before going back to our client. We also discussed you want to make sure that you document your findings. Yesterday we went over what a client consultation sheet was, and what a skin analysis sheet was, and what the difference of them two are. The client consultation form is something that the client fills out, and the skin analysis form is something that you as an esthetician fills out, puts all the information down, what products you are using, so on and so forth. Your prior assignment was to research some massage movements because we are going to incorporate those this coming week. So make sure that you turned that in, that you did some research, and that you are prepared to discuss those in class. The follow-up assignment is to find a skin condition on page 333 of your textbook, and I want you to write a paragraph about what kind of treatment that would be good for that skin condition. This will better help you in doing your research, what things you can do if somebody has rosacea, what things you can do if they have cuperose skin, or cannot do. You want to make sure that you are familiar with these things. The method of assessment that we are going to have is to actually, we are going to perform a skin analysis, and then you are going to have a rubric on that. So today and tomorrow, we will be practicing skin analysis on each other, and then we will follow up with the rubric on Wednesday. At this time, I'd like to ask a couple of questions. Betty, what colors did dehydration skin show up under the Woods lamp as? No, it wasn't blue. It was violet. Remember, it was violet. So be sure you know the colors that you can see under the Woods lamp and what they represent. Make sure you familiarize yourself with those. What kind of light does the Woods lamp use? Ultraviolet. Very good, Joe. Very good. Very good. All right, and Mary, what is sebum? When you're looking for sebum on a client, sebum is oil. Correct. Very good. All right, well, that concludes our lesson for today. We want to make sure that when you get done that you are setting up to perform a skin analysis on one of your classmates, and we will get to it. Thank you very much for coming, and have a great day.